Holy shit, I hate those guys. Fuck these guys. Somebody help these 20. It's time to figure it out, Ricky. Fucking touch me. Don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me. Rob, what's up, dude?
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, man, I invited you over. I have a little surprise for you, actually.
Oh, no, not again.
Yeah, but you got to get on the ground. I got to blindfold you, dude.
Fuck. Another animal is another animal.
I don't know.
Tell me what it is.
I don't know, dude. Just get on the floor. I fucking pay you, dude.
All right. Lock it in.
Oh, it's gonna be so funny. I'm gonna surprise him. Rob has no idea that it's actually just a fucking patch cord. It's gonna be so funny. All right, he's gonna think it's a snake or something. Rob, hey, what's up? You didn't hear any of that, obviously, because this is YouTube.
What's up? What do you got for me? What do you got?
Oh,
no snakes.
Hissing.
I hate
it's hissing
snakes.
at me.
I hate snakes.
It's hissing at me,
no
dude.
No snakes.
It's hissing.
Oh! No, what is it? Get out!
It was just a patch cord, dude. You big idiot.
Had enough of this. Fucking had enough of this.
Wait, where are you going?
That's it. I'm done.
Where are you going?
I'm done. No more.
No, dude, it was a joke. It was a prank. It was a prank, dude. It's a prank, dude. It's just a prank.
All right.
Come back. We're friends or we're cool?
We're cool.
Okay, cool. Let's get into it.
We're cool.
Back of the podcast. I don't know. Okay, first of all, that's pretty stupid what we just did. But if you've ever watched these guys on YouTube called the Vlog Squad, every video is exactly like that. It's fucking. I don't know. I've watched like maybe.
You're obsessed.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
It's this guy David Dobrik on YouTube, and he's like 22, and all he does is like relentlessly prank his friends, but then buy them cars and like, and the pranks are always like that. It's like, oh, close your eyes. I'm gonna put something on your chest, and he'll throw like maggots at them one time, and then the next time it's.
Oh, I didn't see the maggots one.
It's just like flour. He'll be like, I got you, bitch. It was just flour. It's stupid like that. So hopefully it translates onto the podcast. Should we get into it?
Let's get into it.
Does the Vlog Squad say anything?
I don't know.
They gotta say something. What do they say?
We still haven't come up with our intro bit for the season, so
we're fucking lost out here. We have no way to get into it. Before we used to say "let's go," and we still haven't figured out what to yell.
I feel like it's just got to be organic, you know.
Okay.
So
if this was a Vlog Squad, it would just be a zoomed in slap on someone's face, or a flamethrower, or a table break.
Flamethrower, that'd be fresh.
Flamethrower would be fresh. Maybe we should get a flamethrower.
Okay. Off Wish. We can get it off Wish.
Off Wish. So, great segue, dude.
Where's my phone? I wonder if they have flamethrowers. I'm gonna look right now.
So, there's this app called Wish, or this company called Wish. You said they sponsor the Lakers, or they're on the Lakers jersey.
Yeah. But
basically, it's like a portal to China. And if you've ever been on Alibaba or AliExpress, when you buy like these like cheap Chinese stuff, they basically took that idea and then made it more like Amazon, or like more accessible to people. And Eli told us about it. He went on there and bought like a drone and like some other electronics, like a wireless charger. They have flamethrowers on there.
$27 flamethrower.
$27 flamethrower on Wish. Put in that order.
Get at me.
Put in
gas, TIG, torch, gun, blowtorch, gas, spray, gun, flamethrower, gas burner.
Sorry, read that one more time.
That's what it's called.
So on Wish, you can buy I don't know if that focuses.
Does that translate? Can you see?
A gas, TIG, torch, gun, blowtorch, gas, spray gun, flamethrower, gas burners.
Sounds intense.
Tell me that isn't straight out of China. So Eli goes on there and he buys all these electronics and he calls us being like, yo, I just bought all this shit. You guys should buy all your podcast stuff. And I'm going on there. I'm like, this is fishy. I was like, they have AirPods for $1. You know what I mean? They have podcast gear for $15. Like, what is this? And I realize it's just Chinese knockoffs. They'll put a brand name. They'll be like Apple AirPods clone. They'll put clone after everything because it's just a Chinese rip. But I ended up buying some stuff.
It's funny. It says on the picture that it advertises, it says stainless steel spray gun, complete accessory, and then it like lists some stuff, and it says complete accessories, 2-switch, safety. Safety's the last thing.
It comes with safety as an accessory.
Yeah.
This is jokes. So we want to try Wish Out because you can get like wireless pods for like $2 to $7, like cool travel bags and stuff for like $30, drones for $80 that are supposed to be identical to like DJI, which is like a major drone company. I'm kind of nervous to try those, but it has like a bunch of reviews and stuff of people being like, I ordered this is how it came. So you could actually kind of skim through Chinese knockoffs and find decent stuff. I ordered an adapter that lets me charge my phone and listen to music at the same time.
Have you used it yet?
I used it for a second, and it only charged and worked when it was plugged in on one side. It wouldn't let me like flip it around. Classic China. But
tremendous.
They have the best accessories you've ever had. Tremendous accessories coming out of China on the Wish app. I get my hair product there. I get my shavers. Tremendous stuff. That's pretty bad, Trump.
Not your best.
Not my best. Okay, so we're into the episode. Until that flamethrower comes in that we ordered, we have no intro yet.
Okay. Speaking of fire, last night I watched the Fire Fest documentary, and it's something. You should check it out. You know, it's quite interesting, stressful to watch as like
what's
a complete
the gist
outsider.
of it? I haven't seen it.
And pretty much the gist of it is there's this guy, Billy McFarland, who was some hotshot entrepreneur.
Billy McFarland.
And he had this idea to make this music festival, and he just essentially had like no idea what was going on. Or no, sorry. He knew exactly what he was doing, but he was just throwing money and running the operation so poorly that they like ran out of time and promised all these things that they couldn't deliver on for this exclusive, luxurious festival that they thought was going to be the next big thing.
My favorite stuff is the highlights that Rob and Kristen told me about this thing is that all these like rich kids bought like $10,000 to $30,000 villas at Fire Festival, and that were supposed to come with a private chef and all that. And then when they showed up on this island, it was like a tropical island. They had no villas. They ended up buying hurricane relief tents, and instead of a private chef, there was some girl who ran a local cafe. And I'm gonna put a picture in the video now of the sandwiches they got.
It's outrageous. It's outrageous. They just kept offering all these things for like crazy amounts of money, and people just kept spending, and it just fed this like endless, like disaster.
And like, spoiler alert, he's in jail now, so
yeah, he's doing a 6-year sentence, but it was quite entertaining, so check it out.
But speaking of music weekends, Robbie and we just got back from my cottage. We did a writing vacation, so we've heard about artists doing this really cool thing. It's honestly the coolest thing I think about being a musician that I've heard about is that they get to go on a writing vacation, which is like they'll get a villa or a place or a cottage house, something on the beach, or they'll go up in the mountains, like wherever, and they'll set up a studio there and they'll live there for a few months, and they'll just like record, surf, like live like it's kind of paid for because they're signed and stuff like that, and they'll just write music and live as a band in the studio, living like a cool life, trying to get inspiration. So we did a little mini writing vacation up at my cottage.
Yeah, we had a great time this past, so we went up last Wednesday, and we like nonstop just wrote a bunch of music. Came out with some sweet songs also from the weekend. So we spent like pretty much all of our time leading up till Friday working on new tunes, and then a bunch of our friends came up and we partied and went skiing Saturday. which was fantastic, minus the like
Treacherous
bitter
cold.
temperatures that were just like insane that we got hit with. But regardless, super fun. And yes, we had like a weekend with friends, and then we ended up even staying like to the Sunday. Also came back yesterday afternoon.
It was
and
such a fun weekend. I felt like a rock star because obviously the cottage is paid for already. It's a family cottage. We hauled our gear up there. We set it up in one of the upstairs rooms with a really nice view. We set the mood. We drank.
So
we just like lived like
we watched Leafs games.
Yeah.
Made good food.
And we
made
wrote
tunes.
And we made some tunes, and then our friends joined us on the Friday night, and we partied for a few days. Just had like ping pong tournaments. We played fibbage. Killer game if you don't know what fibbage is.
Yes.
So
link that in
fun.
the show notes. Everyone should know what that game is.
If you
It's
ever have
so
like
good.
a group chill party at your house, 8 to 10 people or less, instead of playing heads up or
just like traditional drinking games, you know, if you want something a little more interactive, and
it's hilarious.
yeah, it's super fun.
Fibbage, highly recommend it. We just got drunk. We had such a good time. The ski hill was freezing. It was -24. You couldn't get warm.
It was insane.
But we still had fun doing it, and we
Yeah.
wrote some cool
got us
songs.
out of the cottage for a little bit. So
But what we got to do now, so we were talking about like part of these weekly episodes is updating, you know, our progress to get famous. Like as a band, we realized we want to become musicians. We want to get famous. And so where we're at now, we talked about last episode, funnel vision, and how we're kind of shaping our life. And so part of what we're doing now is actually like selling, promoting ourselves, finishing all the projects we started last year, the music video, launching our EP. This weekend was about writing some new songs that we can choose from for our EP. So now what Rob and I have to do is basically finish. We have to be finishers.
yeah, we've got a lot of projects and ideas started right now.
Like we talked
Just
about
be
the
nice to have like complete songs.
we talked about even the real estate company and all these other things we have on the go, and a lot of them, in order to funnel them towards our goal of funding our lifestyle as musicians, involves making money off them. Obviously
Involves selling,
so we have
which
to
hasn't been our strongest suit.
so you're gonna see two guys that are not really comfortable selling, see if we can make money just selling. And there was this one YouTube video documentary that I saw that really fired us up to how possible it
This
is.
was cool. I forgot about this.
So there's these millionaires like Gary Vaynerchuk and all these other like kind of like motivational millionaires that do this challenge where they go on as undercover millionaires. Like they'll start some job or do a challenge where they can't use their name, their money, or anything, and they have to try to make money. So this one guy started fresh to see if he can become financially free in 1 week without using any of his current money, status, name, connections, or anything. They pulled a random town out of a hat, a random name and a persona, and he plopped into this town, lived at a hotel. He had 1 week in the hotel to become financially free. And
how much money did he start with again? It was
50 euros.
Yeah.
To financially free. So he was a real estate millionaire. So all he did is hustle for 7 days straight to call a bunch of properties. And he found properties that were for lease and that he could immediately turn around and rent to people in like an Airbnb kind of style to make a profit over the rent payments. And in order to do so, he needed an investor, obviously, to put down the first and last month's rent and all that to secure the places. So he went to like real estate conferences, found an investor. He went to locations, found a few locations, found tenants, all within a week. And at the end of the week, he was making £2,500 profit per month just off renters over the next. So he went financially free in a week just hustling. And Robbie and I were like, the only reason we don't make money is because we don't fucking hustle our businesses and our shit yet.
It's like we have the resources and things set up. It's just like
time to sell.
Selling.
So that's where we're at right now, and we need to finish our songs and stuff. We've written enough, so we have to choose them for the EP. So it's going to be about finishing, about selling our live performances. We're literally going to restaurants, selling our live package. We're not selling our band package or music or releasing music yet, because we want to finish the EP first and sell a bit more curated package of that to like record deals and bigger venues. But that's where we're at now. So we'll have updates on that. And I just want to give a shout out to Jay Van. He was on one of our episodes. He listened to the Funnel Vision episode and he reached out to you just before this. And what did he say?
Yeah. So when he called me and he's like, I just wanted to say that I listened to your Funnel Vision episode, and he's like, it helped so much with my with work today, because they were doing like a big like brainstorming session with all of his employees, and he's like we spoke about sort of the exact same topic, and it helped clear my head with that kind of stuff. And it's just something that I've been thinking about the last few weeks also. And he just called to say that he enjoyed the episode, and it was helpful, and it's cool.
He said he even used an image of a beer funnel in his presentation, because they're a beer company. He runs Tiger Beer Canada, and he just said like so if you haven't had a chance to listen to the Funnel Vision episode yet, I think it was not last episode but the one before,
like 2 episodes before,
we came up with a term to describe what we're doing, which is basically trying to, instead of tunnel vision and like eliminating all this extra stuff in our lives, more like funnel it. Look at every task and look at the pathway to channel those towards our ultimate goal.
That links up towards your end goal.
So he was able to use that at work, and he gave us a shout out. So,
and then also on the topic of fan mail.
Oh, we got our first like stranger fan mail. We just started filming our YouTube, or putting these episodes up on YouTube, and we're not getting crazy views.
No, I think the last one did the best.
About
so
200
far,
views in like the first 4 days.
Crazy in the big like YouTube world, we're not getting crazy views or anything. But this happened to be YouTube recommended.
Yeah.
Also.
So this let me see what her name is. This girl named Hunter, if that's your real name, like this is an Instagram thing. So
shout out to Hunter.
So Hunter reached out, and she just was like, might be really random, but wanted to say I'm a fan of your podcast. And obviously we love hearing that, but want to know like how they came across. And she was like, it was a suggested video on my YouTube, and I clicked it. So thanks YouTube for sending that one around a little bit.
Yep.
And shout out Hunter for being a new listener. What I wanted to talk about right before this episode is Juuls, because there were so many Juuls this weekend, and like every weekend we've been partying. Nobody smokes anymore.
No one goes out for cigarettes anymore.
Everyone's juuling, and like I'm talking like hard smokers, guys that were like would chirp anyone else like that doesn't smoke, being like fucking losers, like just let's go for a dart, are now on the Juul, and
Juul has like erased this whole stigma around vaping is for losers.
It's eliminated. Now all these cool
right?
all these cool people, party people, are juuling. And so like there was like 5 or 6 Juuls up at the cottage this weekend. And I talked about this last episode. I wanted to develop Juul Rules, because I think it's a brand new vice. This is a brand new vice. Vaporized cigarette, like vaporized nicotine, is something that's never existed in the history of man up until like maybe 5 years ago when it got big.
So just to give some context though, start with alcohol, and give us a couple of rules that you think are kind of social norms in terms of drinking, and when it's proper to drink and when it's not proper.
Let me just describe like what I think a vice is. I think a vice is like anything that we do that's kind of enjoyable but a little bit addictive, maybe even somewhat harmful. It might not be, but anything along those lines. Like alcohol would be a vice, gambling, coffee even is a vice. A lot of people.
Do you think it's a vice though? It's
a vice, man. People are so reliant on coffee, whereas in theory humans in a healthy shape shouldn't really need to be on a stimulant. Even sugar's a vice.
Okay.
All these things are vice. They make you feel
good. So if
good.
you're talking about like humans in the purest form of what they need to survive and make it through day to day.
I'm just saying there's plenty of successful, healthy people that don't drink any coffee. Yeah. And then there's people that you can't even talk to before they've had a coffee, and they're heavily reliant. If you took it away, they'd have headaches. I call that a vice.
Okay, I'm one of them.
You're one of them. But I think because Juuls are brand new, there's really no like rules. Like when it comes to alcohol, don't drink alcohol when you're working, at least your traditional job. Don't drink alcohol in the morning. Don't, and I'm not talking about, I'm talking about regular functioning people. I know alcoholics out there like to do whatever the fuck they want, or college kids.
Yeah,
but there's general norms, and it's because alcohol's been around forever. You're raised with knowing the proper times. Coffee, people know not to have it right before they go to bed. They know to have maybe 2 cups a day, and they know if you have it right when you get up, you'll start to get reliant. So there's all these like things about it. Sugar. If you have too much, you'll get fat. So to limit your sugar intake and all that. But with Juul, people are literally breathing off of it like it's a second oxygen tank.
So you know what the issue with it may be then, because you make comments, if you drink too much, then like you start to have issues with like work, and like you're hungover all the time, you're less productive. It's like if you eat too much sugar, it's the consequence is getting fat. I think with juuling is that it's so new, people don't know what the consequences are yet, so that's why the rules haven't been established.
There's been no rules, and kids are doing it, everyone's doing it. You can do it anywhere. You can do it on, like, not legally, but like I know you can do it on a fucking plane, in a car, in a movie theater, like really anywhere you want to do it. So people are doing it everywhere.
It's extremely accessible.
So I kind of obviously I got a Juul. And as someone who wasn't a smoker really before, like it's one thing if I see tons of people who quit smoking with Juuls and they were net positive on their health benefits. You know what I mean? They're so much better off for it. That's what it's invented for. That's why you can get different nicotine percentages, 5, 3.
Yeah, they've started adding that in now.
And then even
they don't have a 0 yet though.
A 1 or a 0. They might have a 1. But as the people on the other side who just got it and started huffing on it because it seems so nothing, and then I found myself like wanting it a bit more, and I was like, oh shit, like this is a vice. Like I don't really get addicted to anything, so I can kind of tell when something has a bit of a control on me, like I want it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, like these need rules. I need to set rules out for myself. So for like 2 weeks, I was huffing on it all day, every day, just like working, huffing on it. Morning till night, just chilling, huffing on it. And I was like, awesome. I'm thoroughly as addicted as I can be, because I don't get addicted to stuff. I'm like, I want to do it all the time. So this is a perfect experiment for me to see if I can control this vice. So I laid out rules. What I think are appropriate times to Juul, and what I think are not appropriate times to Juul.
Okay. So let's hear them.
Okay. All the time, not appropriate. That's for sure.
Okay.
It's not like any other vice. All the time, I don't think that's healthy for you. I think it makes you a little bit like you're just like constantly huffing, like getting a little buzzed, and it makes you act a little weird and feel a little weird.
Yeah.
Like kind of suppresses your appetite, makes you a little. It makes you a little bit weird.
Yeah. And so maybe I'll just like compare them as we go. Also, drinking all the time, not sustainable.
Not sustainable.
Eating unhealthy foods all the time, not like sugar.
Yeah.
Unsustainable.
Would you call weed a vice? Because I know people smoke that all day, every day, and they function off of it. Something I would never do.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I'd call it a vice.
So what, for me personally, I laid out these rules, and I didn't like the way I felt when I was working on Juul. And when I say working, I mean typing up emails, doing, thinking about like planning out product launches or answering emails, doing financials, administrative work. A time when you think like juuling would be good, I would do it, and I kind of feel weird and like be trying to focus and think and be like just like huffing on it and not really staying focused. It just made me kind of feel weird. So I said, none of that. No juuling when working, and working meaning like administrative, thinking, hard work on the computer. But after work, when all those tasks are done, it's something to look forward to. So I've been doing it in the last week where I won't Juul until my work day is kind of done. And it's something to look forward to. I'm like, I can't wait to bang out all these tasks, and just like when I get done and we're about to do a podcast, I get to rip the Juul.
Quick little Juul, yeah.
Right. So another thing is, before exercising, before working out, don't do it. You feel weird when you're working out and you're hopped up on nicotine. So
you wouldn't eat a shitty meal before you work out, or you wouldn't drink before you work out.
Yeah, exactly. So say I got to work out midday, normally do it, or work out in the morning or work out in the evening. Even if I finish my work, I wouldn't Juul before that workout's done. Also diet. I do think it's a bit of an appetite suppressor. So if it's too close to a meal, I'll probably wean off of it. But that's a bit of a gray area.
Yeah, this is where they differ a little bit. You know, it's like
that's personal preference.
Yeah, because you know, it's
I need to eat a lot.
If you eat like dessert or like sugar and stuff before eating a meal, it's probably not the best either, because you know, then you're not hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Drinks though before a meal.
You get a little buzz.
The more the merrier.
A little bit more the merrier. So like that's one of those things where, for me, I'm a skinny guy, and in order to put on size and muscle, I need to eat a shitload. So I don't want to interfere with my urge to eat. I already barely, like, I can eat a shitload, but my urge to go make a meal is low, always. So I was like, okay, make sure I've eaten enough, I've worked out, and I've finished my administrative tasks before I Juul.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean if I'm going to do those later in the evening or something that I can't do in the morning. It's just like when I have all that stuff to do, I'm not doing it during that period. Times when I think it's appropriate to do it, driving. You're killing time. You're sitting in the car. You're bored as fuck. You're listening to podcast music. Maybe you're making phone calls. Juul, treat yourself. You got nothing fucking better to do.
So you wouldn't drink and drive though.
But you can drink a coffee and drive.
That's true.
It's not like alcohol.
But you like to eat. It's good to snack and drive.
And drive, like you're killing fucking time. Driving, especially if it's 20 minutes or more, do it. In-person meetings or long phone calls, same deal. Fucking, I do it like this. I'll consider this like an in-person meeting, or like work where you're sitting around a table working with people and you're bouncing ideas back and forth when you're being kind of social and working. I like it. Kind of keeps you buzzed, keeps you like you're in a good vibe. I like that. Evenings after everything is done, and weekends or chilling or vacation, group them all in. If I'm on vacation, open season. Chilling, you know what I mean? Like you're watching a movie, you're with friends, you're having a drink, maybe you're on a patio. It doesn't matter what time of day this is. As long as you're not doing administrative or like that type of focused work, or you don't have a workout in the near future, or you're not trying to stick to a rigid diet, totally appropriate. Or tasks that are labor, moving, unloading, picking stuff up. These are, I think, are appropriate times. So it's really about the core part of my day where I won't do it until like 5 p.m. or so.
Yeah.
Or today we finished our tasks around 4 o'clock when we got done with the gym. Mm-hmm. Have some Juul, treat yourself. And obviously just don't fucking oxygen tank off of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like every 5 or 10 minutes, pick it up, take 2 or 3 puffs.
Yeah, so if you're having difficulty remembering all those rules that Trav just laid out, maybe think of it in a similar to like any other vices you may be ingesting, like alcohol or weed, and the appropriate times and non-appropriate times to take those, and it would probably fall under the similar guidelines that Trav just laid out.
Or if you have a different lifestyle, like maybe your job is sales calls and driving. So maybe you Juul while doing that, but in the evenings you don't, because that's when you're chilling, you're making your meals, and you're working out. Mm-hmm. So it's really up to you. But the point is vices are okay. I truly believe that alcohol in the evenings is a benefit to people if they're in control of it. It's a social release. It's fun. We have a blast. It was a creative tool for us. Vices can be used beneficially. Coffee can be used beneficially. People use weed in a beneficial way all the time. Yeah. These are still all vices. Even sugar as a little treat. Reward yourself. People are like, oh, if I do this, I get to eat a piece of chocolate cake. Yeah. Do the same thing with the fucking Juul.
Rewards are good.
Rewards are good. So now I've turned this thing that could be an addictive negative in my life, and when I'm doing my tasks and I go, oh, I want to rip the Juul. No. Finish your tasks. And I'm like hammering out my tasks. I'm like, oh, if I just finish my tasks and do my workout and eat my meal, I get to have a Juul. Yeah. Get that little buzz. Treat yourself. I find I'm turning this demon into a demon that works for me, like a little carrot in front of my face. Yeah. And then to be honest, the way I work with vices, if I ever feel that a vice isn't working for me, I gas it so easily. So easy. I hardly eat sugar. I don't smoke weed. It just doesn't work for me. Yeah. I alcohol I keep in the evenings, and I only do it when it's a nice event, or like I have no urge to
You
drink.
are good with that. Cutting things off.
The only thing I'm bad at, and you know this, is once I've started drinking, my vice control
out the window.
Out the fucking window. Up all night. More drinks, done. Shots, are we doing it? Cool. Let's go to this next bar.
Yeah, you can't say no. Once you've had a little bit, you can't say no.
Yeah, and even
like bag of chips, full thing.
I'll eat a bag of Chippos. And even something I don't like I don't even like weed. I remember the other night, end of the night, someone's like, take a hit of this joint. I'm like, I fucking hate weed. I'm drunk though. I'm like, yeah, smoke it, puked.
Give it to me.
But again, if I was doing too much of that, I would tone down my drinking. I would.
Yeah.
So I don't like it's just.
I think it's part of it is recognizing also.
Yeah. Use your vices to motivate you. Use any negatives in your life as a positive. If you're an addictive personality, like some of our friends, get addicted to work. Get addicted to working out. You know what I mean? That's how that's how the most successful people are usually fucked up in some way, and they find a way to turn their complexes into productive avenues. They manage the demons. They put harnesses on them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you're getting yanked around by your demons, you're probably seeing some negativity in your life from it. Everyone's got demons. Use them to your benefit. You know what I mean? If you're sad, harness that. Write some poetry. Like create. You know, like use it to.
There's ways that you can sort of manipulate them and use them to your benefits.
And that's with everything. Like even when bad stuff happens to you, everything happens for a reason if you make it happen for a reason. Yeah. So even my concussions, awful. I got super into health. I got super into full body rehabilitation, learning the systems of the body and how to affect it. And I also was able to take time off work and was like, okay, maybe I should look at a more creative lifestyle if I'm going to have noggin issues. And I turned it into a positive. Now we're fucking rock star podcasters. Whereas if I didn't have my concussions, I'd be in a plane flying right now because that's what I went to school for, or working at a desk job because that's what I was doing before my concussion symptoms got so bad that I had to stop. So it's like make everything happen for a fucking reason. So Juul Rules, I've been experimenting last week. I'm going to experiment for the next 2 weeks, and then I'll check in to see... if I found that it's still gotten away from me, if I'm not able to control it, or if it's been like the proper horse carrot in front of the horse situation.
Yeah. And you know what? At the end of the day, it all comes down to balance. You're about it. I'm about it. Figure it out. Figure out a healthy balance. And, you can have your vices, or what's the expression? You can have your cake and eat it too.
I'm a huge believer that you can have your cake and eat it too. I think the only thing that stops people from having their cake and eat it too is
self-control.
Self-control. Literally, that's it. Oh, if they're like, I can't do this and that, it's just because you didn't work hard enough or stop yourself from that procrastination to open up the time to do this and that.
It's totally in your control.
It's just hard. And that's why I'm not blaming anyone, because even you or I are pretty bad about it sometimes.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, everyone slips up, but...
You have to say no to events because you procrastinated all day, and that's something that...
Yeah, you know what? I think you got to get pushed too far in one direction also to notice, like what your limits are, and, to sort of reflect and realize, like, how to tone things back, right? So you got to venture down those avenues to figure out how to find that balance.
And we're curious too if anyone else has opinions on this, or like if anyone else has opinions on the stuff we say that we kind of don't know the answers to. Send in what you think. Like we want to hear.
We like fan mail. And judging by the 2 shout outs we gave on this episode, if you send us any notes, you will likely get a mention or a shout out in the
yeah, unless they're shit. Which case we'll shout them. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we like it all.
Yeah, we like it all because one thing we talked about last episode as well is never shooting down bad ideas, or else people will be too afraid to send in ideas. I have bad ideas all the time.
Yep. So
me saying them live on the podcast is equivalent to just someone sending it into us, even if it's good or bad. Just throwing it out there.
Let us know. Also on our list here, we got ourselves a new place.
Holy shit.
Boom.
Boom. What was our New Year's, one of our big yearly to-dos was move out.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about how whack it was too.
Oh yeah, we had some
We had a bit of a sketchy encounter.
some suspect encounters with some owners on the market.
No,
So,
shady realtors. There were realtors.
yeah. Well, yeah, you know what? They were all realtors.
It was realtors that were shady.
We're not going to name any names here, but
So basically, we said we want to move out. We don't really have tons of money to do it, but we're just like, listening to a few of our previous guests talk about backing yourself into a hole and digging yourself out. It's something you want to do, just do it. Like when it came to Mark Stanyus buying a home, getting married, having a kid, he knew these were things he wanted to do at this point in his life, but he just didn't feel ready for it.
yeah,
So he kind of just was like, no, I'll make it work. And it ended up happening.
force yourself to be ready.
Metcalf moving to Montreal, Chris Follis moving to South America. Also, he was in Australia for a while and he's back for a few weeks. We're going to try to get him on the episode to catch up with him. So we're like, we knew we wanted to move out. We don't have, the $800, $1,200 a month it was going to take us for rent just on hand. Could we make it? Easily. You know what I mean? We
Force ourselves to make it.
We make enough money, but we spend it on other shit because we don't have to pay rent. So it's either we modify our lifestyle, or we make more money. And that's a have your cake and eat it too thing.
Yeah, let's do both.
Let's do both. Let's just make more money.
Let's modify our lifestyles also, so we can save more money.
So we were looking for places, and it happened really quick. We're just like, we want to get a place. Let's just do it.
It happened so quick.
Within like a week and a half of looking, because things move fast in the Toronto market. If you see a place you like, it's going to be taken in 2 to 3 days, a week tops. So the second you start looking, if you're actually going to visit a place and you like it, if you ain't ready to move right then, you're fucked.
Yeah, it's like be ready to move immediately if you see a place that you like, or if you start looking and start going to check out places, because it's such a quick turnover that you'll blink and the place will be gone. So
have your letter of employment in place. If you work for yourself, you can write yourself a letter of employment. I did it. I wrote myself a letter of employment. We got some from SIPR as well. You need to have your first and last months ready. So you need to have some cash on hand, a credit check. Luckily, having good credit's relatively easy.
I mean, hopefully the guy, the house owner, doesn't check in, happen to fall upon this episode.
Well, what do you mean? We did everything right.
That's true.
There's nothing wrong with writing. I wrote a legitimate employment letter. I just said I run this business. Yeah. Here's articles written about me in this business showing our legitimacy. We sell this much per year. Mm-hmm. And, I didn't say how much of that is profit.
Yeah, it's true.
But also for the landlord's sake, we're not risky tenants. We're fortunate enough to have families that won't let us default on things if it
we got
push
a little
came
bit
to
of comfort. So.
Maybe they would actually. I've never really defaulted to see if they'd help me out of a pinch.
You won't do it.
Yeah, I would. So we're looking for a place. Places pop up. Toronto's ridiculous. It was like fucking shoe boxes out there for $2 to $4 grand for 3 people and 4 people, and
like 1 floor, 4 bedroom,
no living area,
no living area,
no washing machine, or dishwasher. One of the rooms has like a dead body in it. So we went to see a few places. We weren't jazzed about it. We were cruising Pad Mapper.
Yeah.
A really good place to see immediate listings. And we found this one spot at Bathurst and St. Clair. I think it's called St. Clair West, just kind of right by Yorkville.
Yeah, we got a killer. Oh, well, it's not the closest to Yorkville, but...
It's Avenue. Sorry, it was Avenue and...
Bathurst and St. Clair.
Bathurst and St. Clair. You're right, not that close to Yorkville. So St. Clair West.
But yeah, no, it's super dope location, extremely convenient in terms of it's right... The subway is
literally
right
on
next
the subway
door.
line.
Yeah,
we had a few
so many
checklist
food
items.
Places like groceries, like Loblaws is next door. It's just we
had a few checklist items, right? Yeah. It was we wanted under $1,000 rent per month each, on a subway line, downtown, And then was there anything else? Like the rest we were willing to like kind of compromise on. Parking.
Yeah.
Or no, not even parking. It was the rest we were willing to compromise on.
Yeah. I was like, just like set on being close to transportation
Yeah.
and food options.
Cool. So this place popped up, and I like Kristen's attitude, because I was like kind of worried. I didn't feel like I was ready to move out yet, and I didn't know, some place that we were about to go visit. I was kind of like, I don't know if I like it. And then she's like, no, we'll go there, and if you can see yourself in it and you get the vibe, like that's the place for us. And I was like, all right, easy there, fucking Gandhi, like Dalai Lama. Get the, like, I didn't know what she meant. In the first place we went to, I was like, this is shit, fuck it. The other places we were about to go to, I was kind of like iffy on. When we landed at this place, we walked in and I could see it. I could see us in the living room. I could see us in the kitchen. Huge living room area, 2 parking spaces out back. It's the upper 2 stories of a house. The rooms were gorgeous. It's a beautiful old home right by the subway. I could see the area. I could picture myself working out of it. And I was like, she's like, this is it. Do you feel it? I was like, I feel it. And she, that day, made it an Instagram post saying, roomies, like roomies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we haven't even talked we haven't even done anything. How do you know we're gonna get the place? And she's like, it might be premature, but I just got a feeling. I was like, wow, I would never do that. People were asking me right after that. They're like, so you got a place? I was like, no, we haven't even put in our credit or rental application or anything.
Yeah.
So I had to like backpedal, but we did end up getting it. The whole weirdo situation was when we first reached out, Kristen reached out. We thought the realtor was ESL, like English second language, because he was so hard to deal with.
Yeah, like for a professional, like the worst communicator via email I've ever read.
Yeah,
so dodgy of all of Kristen's questions.
Yeah, dodged all questions and was just like, we need credit, employment letter, first and last, everything ready to go. Boom. And Kristen's like, okay, like we'll get that. Like, can we see the place first? Like, what the fuck?
And they'd be like, no, send us. Or like he wouldn't even answer her questions. He'd just be like, send us credit reports, employment letters. And she'd be like, but what about this? I'm still waiting on those 2 credit reports.
Yeah. So we were like, okay, let's see the place. He set up a showing at 10 a.m. some morning. And Kristen's like, cool. She sends it around to us. The night before, we get a message from Kristen being like, I don't know what's going on. She sent us a screenshot of these emails. And the guy was like, Kristen had sent a message, are we still on for 10 a.m. tomorrow? And the guy was like, I need more notice than that. How's 2 p.m.? And Kristen's like, more notice. We set that time earlier in the week.
Like, I thought we were talking yesterday.
I thought we were locked in. Like you told us 10 a.m. on Thursday. And then she goes, okay, we can do 2 p.m. on Thursday. And he goes, oh, you want to do 2 p.m. now? I need more notice. Kristen's like, we can do 10 a.m. Just tell us what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
Like, we'll be there tomorrow, dummy. I forget what time it ended up being. We go see it. We meet the guy. Turns out he was like normal. He was
fairly normal dude.
It's because it wasn't the guy we were emailing.
No,
it was his brother.
It was his brother, who's not even a real estate agent. So this guy had no idea about what was going on about the place. So
we'd ask a question, like, where's the laundry? And he's like, I don't know.
And he pulls up the listing, and we'd ask him a question, and then he'd read off the listing. Oh, it says there's this here and stuff. And it's like, dude, like, we know that. Like, we read that ourselves.
We're like, where's
also.
a fucking laundry? We don't see it anywhere.
Yeah. So this guy was like essentially useless, other than letting us into the place to actually check it out. So.
But again, we saw ourselves in the place. We liked it. Kristen made that post, and he's like, we need credit, blah, blah, blah. The same thing so we got all that together within like a day. Employment letters, credit check, bank account, first and last month. And we had it all together. And this whole time, Robbie's aunt, Kathy, who's a realtor as well, is blind copied on all of these messages, just keeping watch, overwatch on us. And she goes, there's something fucking fishy. She could just tell something was off, and we didn't get it. We didn't know what was up. So she looks into it with all her real estate magic, and she realizes that the guys we're dealing with are not even the broker for the property.
Yeah, they're not even the listing agent.
They're not even the listing agents.
So apparently how it works is that when you get a property as a real estate agent that you're going to sell and you want to list online, you have the option to make it public or private. And so if you keep it private, then it's just you that's seen as the agent for it, except it doesn't get blasted out to all the other websites.
Like PadMapper and...
Yeah. So, but if you make it public, then it is out there, and like other realtors can list the property themselves also, but they have to like
bring their own clients to...
Yeah, bring their own clients, so that it's like, so it's not the one person, doing like a...
finding people,
like both ways of the deal, right?
So this realtor that we were dealing with had reached out to the actual broker and said, hey, can I market this property for you?
Yeah.
The broker said yes, and then he was kind of being shady about not letting us know he wasn't the broker, because what he was doing is screening a bunch of candidates himself to bring to the broker agent.
Yeah.
Which I guess is allowed. I don't know. But
it's also kind of unethical the way that he was going about it, because he wasn't...
wasn't representing our best interests.
Wasn't representing our best interests.
Which is what a realtor should.
Like, had we known who we were meeting with, like originally, we would have just got Kathy to like represent us. But also he wasn't following the normal protocol.
He wasn't letting us know the truth of the matter, that he wasn't the broker.
Yeah.
Kathy finds all this out, and so this guy, we'd sent him our information and like our rental application, all that, and he didn't get back to us. And the reason he didn't get back to us, now that we realize it, is he was screening a bunch of different people to send the best person forward. So not acting in our best interest and not replying to us. So Kathy went right to the real broker and said, this is going on. Did you know about it? And he said, holy shit, no, like that's actually illegal. The guy who showed you the property isn't even a realtor. How did he get my...
the lockbox
code?
Yeah, because apparently that's breaking and entering.
It's illegal.
Also, it's illegal.
It's breaking and entering.
Because he's not allowed to have that combination. It's only supposed to be the tenant that's also there, and the realtor. So they were upset about that.
So they were upset, and Kathy just went right in there.
She just worked magic, like boom, bing, boom, like
things were happening. She's like, I need this from you. You're meeting the landlord, then get that, then this is the entire contract. These are the things you have to look at. Highlighted it. It was like a DocuSign where everything was like perfectly easy for us to go through.
Everything happened so quickly, as compared to this other idiot that we were dealing with prior to this. And
she got us a place.
And she got us the place. So we lock in the deal, and Kristen hasn't really spoken to this guy
because he hasn't got back to us because he's being a shady bitch.
And Kristen sends him this note being like, we feel like you weren't representing our best interests, and things weren't just were not happening quick enough, and everything. So we decided to get someone else, and we've moved on, and we
got the place.
We got the place. and then this guy gets back to. Should I? I'm gonna pull up the message.
Yeah.
Actually.
So you're a professional. You're a realtor. It's totally within our rights to find a different realtor that's gonna do our best interests. Like, sorry. I guess you lost out on the commission, but you shouldn't have been a shady bitch.
So this guy responds to Kristen's email and finally got his attention. He says, "Thanks for wasting my time. If someone asks you a questions, like what if with an S, and you can't give a straight answer, then don't waste my time.
If someone asks you a questions and can't give you straight answer, like don't waste my so fucking."
So this guy was a little rattled, but we
he's equivalent of the Fire Festival guy of real estate, man.
Billy McFarland.
But anyway, so if you see a change of scenery, we're literally moving out in 2 weeks to this house. We're gonna set up there. We're gonna be living together like we said we were gonna do, which means we can crush music, crush podcasts, crush West House, crush Wrist and Rye, task, crush.
I'm talking
crushing
task.
it. I'm talking to-dos. I'm talking the one where you write things down and check them off.
And then other things on my list here. Okay, so actually, I don't know if I can talk about this.
No.
Okay.
Bandersnatch, though.
Yes, Bandersnatch. We watched that on the weekend. Well, we watched part of it on the weekend. I don't know if
we
you
kind of
guys have
farmed
seen
it. Like, it's if you haven't figured out what Bandersnatch is yet, everyone's talking about it. It's a movie where you can choose your own destiny, and they film all these different plot lines, and you can choose if you have a smart TV. You know, do I kill this person or not? Do I eat the cereal or not?
It's interactive. So the movie will be going on, and a question will pop up, and then the two answers will come up on the bottom of the screen, and there's a time limit. And you know and the coolest thing about it is that it doesn't stop at all. So the scene's going on, and you have a time limit to choose, and then you pick one of the answers, and like it's continuously keeps going, but with the answer that you chose for the character.
And the next scene corresponds to it. So if you say kill the person, the next scene is him killing the person. Whereas if you chose a different one, it's
like another person killing themselves.
Yeah. And so obviously, being like the fucking idiots we are, I always want to see what the weird answer goes.
Yeah.
So like there's obvious answers. There's clearly, if you watch this movie and you choose the obvious answer every time, it probably really meshes up and it's normal and it's a really cool movie. But if you choose the whack answers, you go down these plot lines that hit dead ends.
But it's crazy though, because it loops back, because we went down so many dead ends. The actual storyline, if in some ways, if you follow it, like it keeps moving along, but you're actually like behind the plot, and it loops back to this place that you've already been before. It's hard to explain.
You
like
waste
you have
your
to
time.
watch.
So it's like, say one of them is like, it's stupid, but like one of them is like, you have the option to kill yourself or have the other person kill themselves.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, I want to know what happens when I kill myself. Right? And then you kill yourself, and then it's like, you basically made a mistake. You have to go back.
Yeah.
And so what ends up happening is if you go down all these dead end plot lines too far, they'll send you all the way back. So we're 2 hours into the movie, and I have the main plot lines only progressed like 3/4 of the way. So we're like 2 hours in, where other people would be there in like 45 minutes or an hour.
Yeah, we ended up we didn't
gave
finish
up.
it.
We gave up.
We didn't. Well, I mean,
You guys fell asleep.
yeah, Liv and I passed out a little.
I remember, you guys passed out of me. I remember sitting there, and there was a really hard one. You had to like decipher a code based on all these previous scenes that had hidden numbers in it. And I'm like, guys, what is it? And I look over, and you guys are like, I'm like, all right, we're done.
A few too many puffs on the broccoli wand.
The broccoli wand. Oh, also the blood moon. There was a blood moon this week. If you didn't catch it, we're such idiots too. Holy fuck. My whole family, God bless.
A what? What'd you call it?
The blood moon.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. So our whole family, I get a message. My parents just came back from Mexico. I get a message from my dad, and he's like, 9:26. Don't miss the eclipse. Go outside. It's going to be amazing. So we paused the Leafs game live. Like we missed out on the live finish of the Leafs game, and we go outside at 9:26, and we're basically waiting at the window for 20 minutes, and I don't see a fucking thing.
So I pull it up on my phone, and I go on to this website where it was giving, some good times to watch, and it's like 9:26, when the moon and stuff will start moving, and then it's like 10:26 when it'll
first be able to notice it.
Yeah, I'll first notice it, and then it's like 12:26. Like 3 hours later that it will be at its peak or something.
Yeah. So I go back to my phone to message my dad, and I see this message. It was, sorry guys, I gave you the Pacific time, not the Eastern time. So I forget what I said to her. I gotta pull it up. Yeah. So I go, it won't be, or I look at it and he goes, my mistake, I gave you Pacific time, thanks. And I go, yeah, it won't be eclipsed until 12:12, it said, red moon at 10:33. We wasted like 20 minutes outside watching nothing. And he goes, your mom and I have been on the floor in your bedroom for 20 minutes as well. And I go, we're a smart family, eh? And he goes, we're fucking beauties. And then Kirsty, my sister, gets back and goes, same. I've been staring outside for 20 minutes. I'm like, we're
They had
smart.
all of you fooled.
We're a fucking smart bunch. So shout out my fam.
That's rich.
That's rich, eh?
Yeah.
But we did get to see it. The moon was orange. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Leafs lost, though.
Yeah.
And Banner
Not their
snatch.
best.
Benedict Banner snatched us out of 2 hours of our life.
And now I gotta go back into it and like I genuinely enjoyed the movie, or was enjoying the movie, but I have to go back through and like puzzle my way through the plot lines.
I think I'm gonna Google some sort of like plot line guide. You know, see it all laid out. It got really dark and twisted, which was cool, but
it is kind of confusing.
Good actors though.
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty much all we wanted to talk about.
I think that's it. So
when I go back to edit this later, I'm gonna see how weird that intro is.
Yeah, I'm really curious about that too.
So if it's good, you're gonna see a whack intro, and if it was bad, the intro is just gonna
see
be
a whack intro.
And on that note,
see you next.
It's just next Tuesday. So see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Adios.